Ladies and gentlemen, what we have in our hands is, on one hand, you have Kenya's President William Ruto, and on the other hand, you have Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. When I tell you it was gloves off on Twitter, Kenyans and Nigerians were going at it, voting to decide who is the most, and they were even gassing themselves and saying, guys, the Nigerians are so many, we're losing, get out and vote. I'll tell you what, we have one winner on the global stage, and we have two winners on the African continent on who is and who are the most, not just in Africa, but also in the whole world. Hello there, how are you doing? Welcome to another episode of our conversations. My name is Ondiro Oganga. I'm a business journalist by profession. I love coming on here, having conversations with you guys about Black people, Africans, our empowerment, and how we can rise up and take our rightful place at the global stage. Connect with me on social media at Ondiro Oganga or this channel. And our data shows that over 90% of you guys who watch our videos have not subscribed. So this is just a gentle reminder. Scroll down below, hit the subscribe button, and I'll promise to you is that you will always have videos every Monday to Friday. Also, if we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to take this caravan on the road and start interviewing thought and business leaders across the African continent. So I'm going to throw this challenge back to you. If you'd like to buy me a coffee or support the work that we do, a PayPal link will be in the description box. Let's get into today's video. Now, we always know that corruption is rampant. That is something that is well known, particularly in some of these African countries. But it has gotten to a place where Africans themselves are saying this corruption is problematic and we have to call it out. I don't know if you guys understand the tectonic shift that has happened on the African continent. You know, the generation of our parents, they're children of colonization. They grew up during the colonial times, and even the guys that they gave back to. So there's that authority, fear of authority, respect of authority, not questioning things, and just accepting status quo. That has been the order of the day for such a long time. Well, when you say there's corruption in Africa, but this is the case. Africa is always corrupt. African leaders are always corrupt. At least he eats, but at least he does this. Yes, he eats, but at least he built a school. If you see the school that they built self, at least he eats, but at least we have water. At least he eats, but at least we have electricity. The electricity that is not constant. Every single day, every single week, every single month, you have blackouts. You've become a telemarketer on the phone. You're always calling those guys. What's happening to electricity? And this at least attitude has sunk us rock bottom because the damage that corruption has done on the African continent. There was a time the former president of Kenya said nearly 2 billion Kenyan shillings. That's like a lot of money. 2 billion Kenyan shillings is lost to corruption every single day. You have a country like Ghana where they said nearly a third of the budget is lost to corruption. Don't even get to Nigeria. Don't get to Nigeria. South Africa are struggling with electricity. Every couple of years, they have load shedding that goes up to 8, 12, 14 hours of no electricity. Corruption. Money that was supposed to upgrade the grid gets stolen. I'm trying to find a good English word, but there's no English word. It's just stolen. We have thugs in power. And what they don't understand is the saddest part about corruption in Africa is most of this money is used to build European economies. Why do I say this? You steal, you buy Rolex. Rolex is made in which country? You're building that economy. And in fact, they're so happy to take your money because you're a fool. You're stealing money. You're buying houses in LA. They won't refuse. In fact, they're so happy because when you're indicted for corruption, they're going to freeze those assets. Then they're going to auction them, and good luck getting your money back. Ask Nigerians. Good luck getting your money back. Right? You have these leaders that steal money and they buy cars. They say German machine. You're driving a Ferrari, Lamborghini, Bugatti. The infrastructure in your country cannot support the cars that you want. The kind of spare parts that you need, you have to import them. And it becomes so expensive because there's no market for such. Because everybody is poor around you. They build these big houses, 10 bedroom, and all your children are all grown. For what? Proceeds of corruption. You take your children, you take them abroad to study. You're just spending money. aimlessly, carelessly. Time value of money. This is what I always say. If you've worked hard for your money, there's a way you'll not spend it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But if you worked 8 hours, 12 hours, you did double shift, extra shift for your money, there's no way you'll go to a Gucci store and have them shut down the store for you to shop. You're a fraudster, or you're a corrupt African politician, or you're the child of a corrupt African politician. Period. Corruption has stagnated this African continent in a way that is shameful. We shouldn't be where we are today. Young people do not have jobs because of corruption. There's no merit anymore. It's nepotism, it's tribalism, it's who do you know? Who's your uncle? Who sent you? Merit doesn't count at all. And you have super brilliant people that are now, during the elections, there's this Ghanaian journalist who, her name is Vanessa. She said that people were insulting each other. And there's a lady who said, I'm a graduate, I'm a nurse. If the country was working, do you think I'd be washing plate here? A whole nurse. Can you imagine what her life would have looked like in Canada, in the US? Can you imagine? Just career-wise and the opportunities. Why? Because we're mismanaging our systems. And that brings me to the voting. Africans are angry. Kenyans and Nigerians are livid. While the rest of the continent is angry, they're livid. And so the voting began. Tell you what, Nigeria is almost 3 times the population of Kenya, but that didn't matter. Kenyans came out to vote. Kenyans came out to vote. And they voted in their numbers to ensure that President William Ruto wins the most corrupt person in the world award or title. Nigerians are also not being left behind. In their numbers, they were voting. Because even if you look at the history of how Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to power, there's been a lot of criticism of how he rose to power, of how he got his money, of how he's used his influence. And so you can just see the motivation of both parties. When the results came out, in fact, this is the first time in the history of this organization that they'd received this many votes. 40,000 Kenyans, 40,000, had stopped exactly what it is that they were doing, and they voted for President William Ruto to be the most corrupt person in the world. Unfortunately for these organizations, they have their own group of judges that select who is going to win, and they gave it to Bashar al-Assad of Syria because of reasons that they best know. Kenyans were really angry. They were very livid. They went to the comment section. They were like, no, if you say we are voting for the most corrupt, it means we are voting. And the person who won the vote should be the winner. The theatrics and gimmicks of this aside, I am so happy that Africans are beginning to recognize the internal problems that are holding the continent back. External challenges remain there, but internally, we have to start fixing the system from the inside so that we're strong enough to battle the demons from the outside. Let me know what you think. What's the state of corruption in your country? How are young people rising up and fighting this or trying to make change? Again, if you haven't subscribed, please take a moment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.